The Admiral disrespect will just never stop. Luffy got Kizaru turned into a ghetto-ass pancake. There is no getting out of this, Kizaru. Hang up your jacket. You're done. Actually, you know what? Take 5. No, take a whole hour off. Actually, you know what's even better? Take a couple chapters off because you really going through it. Kizaru going through a whole existential crisis right now. Got him fighting different. Ain't never seen this guy take a legitimate hit until this arc actually landed. Oda got him in his feelings so bad that he got blood coming out the corner lip and he just chilling. Hands over his eyes and he done. Like he's actually just at this point in time, your role in this arc has to be done at this point. Luffy hit a home run, gave him that Barry Bonds treatment. Nah, he's done. The way he's laying down almost got me feeling like he moving like Tyrese. Yo, so it turns out whenever I look at my YouTube analytics, a lot of the guys who watch me are usually from my YouTube recommendations. Y'all not even subscribed. So if y'all want to do me a solid and you guys like this kind of content, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button too. Thanks. The Gorosei were pressing Saturn about Vegapunk's current status, especially with the announcements going on right now. To which he does confirm that Kizaru did deliver a killing blow. Seeing him deliver a killing blow and confirming him actually being dead are two very different things. That's where you messed up. At this point, they're trying to anticipate whether the broadcast is an actual dead man switch by Vegapunk's alleged death. This is when I knew the situation was dangerously real. Saturn summons the rest of the Gorosei, and they in front of Luffy and they chilling. They haven't actually been summoned yet. They haven't been summoned, but Luffy chilling in front of Saturn and he's currently summoning the rest of the Gorosei. I like this sequence a lot because we're getting an interaction, or at least we're about to get an interaction between the Gorosei and Luffy. But this has to be handled very delicately. When I initially read the spoilers, I don't discuss spoilers on my channel, but I mean, I do read them though. It almost seemed like they were ready to face off, like in the next chapter, they about to go at it. Sort of like Luffy and Doflamingo after Law got cooked. Now, there's a possibility that Oda could go down the route of having Luffy face off against the Gorosei, like a brief exchange, like, you know, throw a couple jabs. This has to be done kind of delicately because one, he has to make them look threatening. Like, remember, these guys are endgame villains. Gear 5th at this point in time has been overwhelming everybody. Kizaru and Saturn both getting cooked. Saturn's been getting cooked, but he hasn't really taken any damage, if any at all. But now it's getting to the point where the rest of the other 4 are about to be summoned, but he can't make them look like a bunch of suckers, especially because they're endgame villains. It's almost like the same vibe that we got when Imu got rid of Lelouch. Like that whole sequence, the way it was done in the anime was the one. Like the music, the ambiance, just the whole vibe, the end. Like you could tell like this is like the final saga. You don't want to downplay the final antagonist just for one character. Yes, I get it, it's Luffy and he's the savior of the world, but at the same time, you want to keep the threat level intense. You don't want to downplay Gear 5th, especially seeing as he's been dog walking Luffy and Saturn. Right now, the focus really seems to be ending Vegapunk's transmission. Sanji is in relative proximity. Zoro and Jinbei might be en route. We may have a 5-on-5. Maybe. I'm coming up with a bunch of scenarios for what could happen next week. Unfortunately, we are on break next week. So I mean the week after. This could be a standoff between the Straw Hats and the Gorosei, almost like a Rob Lucci Water 7 moment where there was that declaration of war with the world government. I feel like this would be the new world version of that. That kind of seems like the most likely outcome, but whenever I try to anticipate One Piece, I'm usually dead wrong. So I mean, it is what it is. Gear 5th is cold. Like Gear 5th is nice. He's been knocking Kizaru and Saturn left, right, and center, but he's not 5-on-1 cold. Like Luffy is not that cold. No. Especially endgame villains. Nah, Vegapunk really got the entire planet waiting a whole hour just so that they can get their AV in check. When Sabo is about to expose Imu to the Revolutionary Army, now I can't really quantify the time it took for that transmission to happen to when Emu decimated the island, but I'm pretty sure they didn't even need 10 minutes. I can understand the visuals because, you know, people tend to like a good audiobook, but more people tend to love a good movie, visuals and audio, just like me. Jokes aside, those visuals must be dangerously incriminating for him to sit there and to throw out the suggestion that he has the whole world wait an entire hour. It kind of reminds me of that R. Kelly joint that came out a couple years ago. Like, if it was two ladies, alright, cool, we en route to court, lawyer up, due process, you know how it go. But 50? Oh yeah, you did that. Yeah, oh yeah, 100%, you definitely did that. You ain't even gotta tell me what even happened. I know you definitely did that. 50 people don't just wake up and accuse somebody of the same thing. Nah. My point being, those visuals must be hitting right, especially if you're considering waiting a whole hour just for the world to see it. The entire world is completely locked in. We see everybody from Dressrosa, Water 7, the North Blue, the East Blue. We even see Vivi. And it's nice to see everybody just have like a bit of a visual update on how everybody's doing, despite the fact that it's only like a tiny panel. The headlines of Luffy kidnapping Vegapunk have already been refuted, so they already know what it is. Still no Zoro Jinbei, and at this point in time, I think that fight will probably get off-screen, almost like with what happened with the Seraphim. There's no objective, like there's no point in them fighting. For the most part, I personally think that Zoro's been controlling the fight. King over Rabluji, y'all can argue in the comments for that. But yeah, it seems like Egghead is getting hot. Egghead is getting hotter. It feels like every chapter we have, the situation escalates that much further to the point where now it feels like in one chapter we're at the end game, but at this point, even with the way the chapter wraps up, the planets are finally aligning. It's really exciting to just see what the interaction between Gearfit, Luffy, and the Gorosei is actually gonna be like. And it even makes me wonder a step ahead if the announcement that Vegapunk's actually gonna make actually makes it out to the world. Because now there's been so much build up now. There was a chapter that ended a couple months ago where it declared that the world famous Egghead incident is about to take off. It makes me sit there and think, okay, so Vegapunk not even snitching, he just straight telling at this point. Is Vegapunk actually gonna relay his message? And now that the Gorosei are finally face to face with Luffy, how's that interaction gonna go? One Piece is hot right now, and man, I'm locked in heavy. So outside of that, that's all for me. Let me know your thoughts below. Let me know what you guys think is gonna actually happen next chapter. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll holler at y'all later, man. Peace.